God wears crimson and a houndstooth fedora on Saturdays. Hey everybody, welcome to the Randall Sports Wrap-Up. I'm your host, Seth Hagan. So, just when it looked like the rest of the country might actually get to see a national championship without the SEC, well, you know. I've cooked Hot Pockets longer than Kansas State was number one. I've washed my hands, walked my dog, and played Call of Duty longer than Kansas State was number one. Number 1 and 2 went down in the same weekend for the first time in 6 years, and now we're only one Notre Dame loss away from another All-SEC final. My, how the tables have turned. A defeat for the Irish at the hands of USC would ensure a 1-2 in the SEC championship. But with Alabama, Georgia, and Florida sitting at 2, 3, and 4 in the BCS, the computers would likely just shuffle the order for Miami. But hold that thought, Matt Barkley will miss this week's big game at the Coliseum with a sprained throwing shoulder, making Notre Dame's path to the championship much smoother. Still, with the way Notre Dame's barely survived several games this year, would it shock you? Let's review how we got here. How did we get here? Oh, that's right. Baylor, who was last seen giving up an average of 38.5 points a game. At least Oregon's loss to Stanford was semi-respectable. And I'll put it this way. After holding top-ranked Kansas State to 24 in the upset, Baylor's defense still ranked 4th worst in the country. Ask Derek Dooley what that'll get you. Fortunately, the Bears also had the 5th best offense in the country. Ask Derek Dooley what that'll get you. At the end of the day, I guess teams just can't take the pressure of being number one. But if you can't take the heat, get the heck out of Miami. What a difference a year makes. A year ago, LSU's football team ran the table in the SEC and had one of the most impressive regular seasons of all time. At the same time, the Ole Miss Rebels were mired in a 16-game conference losing streak and finished just 2-10 for the year. But Saturday's game between the two programs proved the cyclical nature of college football, as LSU salvaged a comeback 41-35 win over the Rebels, which naturally caused Les Miles to foam at the mouth.
There's not a guy in that list of men who hadn't had a great career, who hadn't given tremendous effort and energy to his team, that in fact played a lot of football and made plays today and made plays right on through his career.
Was there a point to all this?
My point to you is there is no such thing as a flop that takes a field for our football team.
Well, thank God for that.
Just so you know, proud of those men. How frickin' easy it would have been to say it's their night. How frickin' easy. Excuse my language.
How frickin' easy. How do I put this succinctly? You were supposed to win. This guy thinks he just won the national championship. Just how much grass are you eating nowadays, Les? Hey, put a few more pesticides on that field today and all this could be yours. Oh, but he's not done just yet.
Spectacular group of men. You go find them, you throw your arms around them, you give them a big kiss on the mouth if you're a girl.
I made it funny. I'm so freaking funny.
Wow, what a game!
Some people just don't get it. Alright, we're a little past halfway now in the NFL regular season, so I wanted to give y'all an update on how our teams are doing. Unfortunately, it's the best and worst of times here in the Southeast. The Texans and Falcons are both the toast of the league, each sitting at 9-1. A Southern Super Bowl could definitely be in the works, but Atlanta and Houston both have to be more consistent if they plan on advancing in the playoffs. Other teams have been a total disappointment. Carolina and Jacksonville are a combined 3-17, and while Carolina stays competitive, Jacksonville just gets blown out. The Jags offense ranks dead last, and the defense is bottom 5 as well. Quarterback Blaine Gabbert hasn't improved, and other than Maurice Jones-Drew, he hasn't had a lot of help. And it looks like the Panthers are running a contest with Dallas for the worst team in crunch time, with 6 of their 8 losses by a touchdown or less. Carolina is spending a fortune on their running backs and getting no return. Plus, this coaching staff is suspect at best. Like I said, they're competitive, but at 2-8, the season's a wash. Tampa Bay leads a bunch of middle-of-the-pack squads that could potentially sneak into that wild card spot or fall away. Doug Martin out of Boise State has been the Buccaneers' draft gem, and he'd be a shoo-in for Offensive Rookie of the Year if he didn't have RG3 across from him in the NFC East. Tampa Bay has a more complete team with a better shot at the wild card. A team that might not need that is Dallas, who's back at 500 with 6 games to go and just a game away from the struggling Giants. but Dallas has to stop giving games away late because they don't have any more to spare. At 4-6, teams like the Dolphins and Titans aren't totally out of it, but the window is closing fast. I'd give the edge to the Titans if they can get Jake Locker back healthy. Chris Johnson's running well, so the pieces are there to make a run. The biggest surprise is the resurgence of the Saints. After going 0-4 to start the season, I wrote them off, but since then they've gone 5-1, including knocking off the previously unbeaten Falcons at home. With that in mind, the Saints look to have as good a shot as anyone in the league if they snag that last playoff spot. 11 weeks down and 6 left send our teams into the home stretch that'll separate the pretenders from the contenders. And everyone below that gets fired. Alright, that's the show for this week, but I'll be back next Monday with my Week 13 wrap-up, and until then, stay logged on to RandallSportsReport.com for all your Southern sports needs. So until next time, I'm Seth Hagan, and that's your Week 12 wrap-up. We'll see you later.